And beep. Hello, everybody.
What's
Welcome
up?
to our new
Oh my
show,
God.
Top
Top 10-ish.
10ish, where myself and my cohort Aaron argue about different things every week and put them in a list order.
Our favorite pastime.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Because once a year for Game of the Year just wasn't enough. We wanted to turn this shit into a weekly fucking session. But we can't argue over Game of the Year every week, so we have to pick new topics. This week
right.
we got top 10 best controllers.
Yeah. Top
Mm.
10 best controllers. But this is a conversation we've had numerous times, not in a top 10 format, but best controllers. We've talked quite a bit about it. So it'll be nice to finally put the matter to rest, and then we won't ever be able to talk about it again.
Indeed, until more game systems come out. And evening,
Yeah.
Emily. How are you? Cheers.
Oh, wonderful. Emily's here.
Uh,
I thought I had my Twitch chat open. I guess I don't.
okay,
This
so
thing's all wonky for the first episode.
all right. Well, we got the Twitch side is cruising. The YouTube side hopefully will be good in a minute here. And if you're not yet, follow us on YouTube. And soon on, we'll have this up for just chill on, play on my Switch. Right on. Well, I hope we
Hell yeah.
can discuss. We can discuss some of your favorite controllers, and you can give some of your say, and we'll keep going with that. So, I'm going to pull up a Word document, as it's my favorite thing to do, or a notepad, rather.
Okay.
The mighty
Sure.
notepad. And let's just kind of go in order, in time.
Yeah, you've got the notepad. I'll let you handle notepad here. I over on YouTube, I got a visual aid for controllers.
So looking at the we can't do the first generation of consoles because there's like nothing there. But
it says on the page it is 900-ish consoles came out during that time. So
Jesus, fucking
yeah.
A. Okay, so
you're not coming through on the YouTube side,
what?
Yeah, that's odd.
That is odd.
Give me a second.
Hold on.
Go ahead and let's pull up the second. Go ahead and let's pull up the second. Go ahead and let's pull up the second.
Go ahead,
The second
hold on.
let's pull up the second.
Hold on a second,
Go ahead,
the
second
hold
gen.
on.
Let's pull up the second.
Hold on a second. No, okay, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, so I just created an endless echo loop for a second there. I will continue with the list while you're working that out.
Yep.
So out of the second gen, the only one I'm really interested in is the Atari. I think it's iconic. I think that is like the first joystick. I think everything else here is awful and should be aborted.
Very simple joystick button, great. And then some of these, I don't know what they were thinking. You know, I understand it was a different time.
It was the first shot at making these. Like,
yeah, no, you're right.
Keypads got buttons right. Fucking who knows?
And television. Look at these things.
So, Gen 3. I know a lot of people want to hype up the NES controller, but man, that thing was trash.
It's basic. It's important for the time, but if we're considering it, but for now, like what we want to do.
Like the D-pad was great, but like it hurt. Like that thing hurts. It's sharp. Who made the edges sharp? Why would you do this? Why? Why would you do this?
Right.
So that's like my first fucking problem with the damn thing.
Yep.
And then like you go and you look at like you go and you like it, you know, like that like controller has all kinds of like history of like hurting you. Because like it leaves the buttons, leave imprints on your hands, it hurts to hold. It's tiny. Like fuck that thing.
Yeah.
And then, like nothing else here is really all that notable. Like let me pull up the Sega Matter System. Like it kind of is just like a weird version of the NES almost. So it's like
right.
No, none of these are good. No. Um, all right, Gen 4. This is where we start getting into some real fucking controllers.
Sure.
All right, I think you can put SNES on for sure. I think you can put
Absolutely. I think Super Nintendo should be on there.
it's that first it's your first button controller that has six buttons and also shoulder buttons. So that's the first
Also,
thing.
yeah, and it's designed to feel good in your hands.
Like that dog bone. Like, yeah, that feels real good. I
It's
am
good.
that thing. Hey, Sergeant Sub. Thank you.
Nice.
HRG.
What up?
He is in his 11th month. He is almost graduating to our next dragon, which we will
Hell yes.
be getting our artist to work on eventually.
We gotta get our artist name it or doing the titles for these shows.
Yeah. So as for the Sega Genesis, I don't like the first controller just because it lacks functionality. Like it's only 3 buttons. But that second Genesis control. So this is why I'm putting this Genesis controller 2 on here. One, you get 6 buttons in the shoulder pads, so it is 8 buttons.
Yes.
It's an 8-button controller. Plus, you get a regular D-pad. Plus, with it's an 8-way D-pad. So
that's good. That's pretty good.
So, like, I think Genesis 2 deserves some love.
Genesis 2 beats 1 for sure.
That 3-button controller is with that 6-button chef's kiss. Mwah. Yes. So
a good one.
Yeah, Genesis. Second revision. Fucking those buttons are so good. Yeah, they feel good too. That's right. On both those controllers, buttons feel real good.
On the Neo Geo, there is that an analog stick?
Or
something akin to it?
Kinda. It's like it's like an 8-way pad, like what the Xbox One has currently. Or
gotcha.
sorry, the Xbox Series X has currently, or what the Genesis Model 2 has. Also a good controller, but I always felt its shape was kind of fucking awkward. That's the reason I'm not putting it there. But I mean, if people want to, if enough of the crowd wants it, I remember modding my Xbox controller to have Genesis face buttons. Ooh, I like that idea.
All right.
I think that the Genesis one there feels real good. Or Genesis Model 2 rather. And I think SNES is a must. Otherwise, most of the stuff in here is like weird or not as fit. Also, Genesis Model 1 doesn't get on here because you had to press a button to switch between punches and kicks in Street Fighter. That alone discontinues it.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so we got Gen 5. There's a couple. I need to check on something for the Sega Saturn real quick.
You can do that. I'm gonna test something with sound over here really quick.
Because I really like the Saturn controller, and it feels like the next step for where that was going.
Sega Saturn specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, look at that thing.
What? Wait, which Sega Saturn one are you looking at?
I'm looking at 6-button, 1 start button.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you're not looking at the fucking round one, the disc.
Where's the disc?
There's that thing was the Sega Saturn controller was like.
Let me check the Sega Saturn page.
Someone was like the Sega Saturn controller. Someone was like, "Hey, let's just that Genesis 6 button. Let's fucking."
Holy shit!
What?
I just found the disc.
The thing is ugly as hell.
Look at this thing. It looks like it's like a couple of generations before the Sega Dreamcast one.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just morphing slowly into it.
I'm gonna let everyone know the Sega Dreamcast controller also sucks ass. But
and that's coming from someone who's a big supporter of Dreamcast.
Yes, I am a Dreamcast fanboy, and I think that thing sucks. Did you really do that?
I like.
Sorry.
What's that?
Oh no, there's chat in the chat. There's chat within itself. I like
Okay.
so looking at the Saturn controllers. I really like once again the second North American model. That's the one I really like.
Okay.
I like that, and I
Okay.
like so like that's where I would go as far as those controllers would go. Um,
I'm into what the Model 1 looks like visually, but I don't know how that feels.
it's okay, but like if I'm
Those
going for
shoulder buttons, like the Model 2 shoulder buttons look better.
they are. That's because they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I guess I like the general shape of the first
Um,
one more, but the shape, whatever.
a,
It's all about what it feels like.
as for the other ones of the time, PlayStation had like the DualShock and the
Man.
regular controller, and like the DualShock
Yep.
is classic. Like, but the question is, which of the three ones that are like that do we pick? And it's technically the worst of the three.
Um,
Because like
of the three,
because there's DualShock 2 on PS2, DualShock 3
right?
on PS3, and then like PlayStation 4 and 5 switched significantly enough
Those
to
are
where
different. Yeah.
those are different
I mean, I
animals.
just like that, you know. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Really?
I mean, there's difference. So PS3 added triggers, like actual triggers, and wireless.
That's true.
Um,
Wireless is good too. Like that alone makes me want to think PS3.
yeah, like I think that's where we. So I think we'd skip PS1, N64. Like it's important, like because it's the first analog stick.
It
Like
sure is.
it's important. I want to put it on there just for that fact of hey, that thing is really important.
You can go ahead and put it on the list, and then we'll just eliminate it later.
Yeah, like I'm gonna put it for now. Like
It's an iconic look.
yeah, that too. It's just really unique looking, and like the weird thing about it was is like you had two settings. You had like all right, I'm at my 3D. Hold on, I actually have an N64 controller right here. Hold on.
Of course you do.
Hold on. Boom. N64
Uh-huh.
controller.
Oh, what? Okay, that's an interesting one.
Um,
Sure.
yeah, it's a Mad Catz one.
It makes
Uh,
sense.
so like you had two settings. Like you had your like your 3D games, which was like right here,
Yep.
and then you had your 2D games on the outside.
Daikatanas, and then
Yeah, so
your
like
melee.
you're playing your
Or not
melees,
melee.
or you're
Smash
playing like the like one 2D game that's on the N64, your Pokemon
Right.
Puzzle League, and then
Yeah.
you go and you play your Star Fox or your whatever over here. There we
Right.
go. God, I've had this controller for literally like this controller is literally like 21 years old at this point.
Could drink.
Yeah, I got it in like '99 as a birthday gift because
Okay.
because my dad.
I like that this controller was also like the trigger button.
Oh yeah, like it was the first one to have the Z button.
Had a Z button, and so now you had to choose between D-pad and shoulder button, or analog stick and Z button.
I get what they were going for because like okay, fighter pilot, like invert, like let's have this like you're inside a cockpit. I
Yeah.
get with it, and that's why that controller is beautiful for Star Fox.
Right. There's a lot of important stuff happening all over this controller in terms of the development and evolution of the modern game controller. It just came through in a very weird way
Mm-hmm.
for the three-handed people in our lives. What else from this generation? Wow, Apple Bandai Pippin with the early PS3 concept controller.
Z targeting Zelda was revolutionary at the time. That was also a thing that was like that's a lot of the game taking advantage of the hardware. But yes, I agree. Yes, the Bandai Pladia. And then you have the Apple Bandai Pippin.
The Atari Jaguar. I have realized just now I've never looked at the Atari Jaguar's controller.
To be fair, how many people have looked at an
that's
Atari Jaguar?
Exactly. No, like yeah. I mean,
You know,
I've seen the console. Like I've never this controller. What were they thinking? What was the game that they
I
were
don't.
designing this
So
for?
like to be fair, once again, like like you live in a city with Pink Gorilla, and if you ask them like,
Yes.
"Yo, bro, how much Jaguar stuff you got right now?" They'd probably be like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah.
not a common product to have anything for. Like it's a weird niche collector system.
We were talking
Um,
about console box designs before this, and the Jaguar has something kind of going there. But man, that controller. Anyway,
um,
so what
so
was the takeaway from this generation? It was
N64 and Saturn Model 2.
N64 and Saturn, which I guess not surprised.
All right.
Okay, yeah,
Now we're getting to so we have
the hard shit.
so I think so I want to say GameCube, specifically Wavebird.
Wavebird, huh?
The wireless, like the wireless one Nintendo put
Was that
out.
official?
That was officially a Nintendo controller, yes.
Okay, yeah, yep,
Yep.
yeah.
That thing was fucking that was a perfect controller. That thing felt good. That thing was the first good wireless controller.
What was
Uh,
the difference other than the wireless?
it didn't have rumble, but like other than that, it was wireless, and like for most people, and myself included, still got a Wavebird. I have three, dude. I have three of those motherfuckers. And like anytime I'm in a game store, I ask, "Do you have some motherfucking Wavebirds that are in good shape?"
You're that guy.
They're worth having, man. Like I don't know if Nintendo's gonna ever fucking like
No.
print GameCube controllers again.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like the thing about the GameCube, and like I think this will come into play. I think it absolutely deserves to be on the first round of controllers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's going to do it in is just that right side with those buttons and that analog stick.
I
Um,
like the buttons. You're right. The C stick does suck, but its
yeah,
main analog stick is so good though. Also, them
sure.
trigger
And
those.
it also
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
triggers are good. The controller feels good in your hand.
Like yeah, it's like that thing feels good. Oh God.
Yep. And they
Uh,
don't make controllers like that. It's all about filling your palm, and that just there was just something different about the way they did that one.
Wavebird guy. Yeah, no, I'm happy to be Wavebird guy. Um, so we got
Just put that in your Twitter bio. Bronson Fiore, Wavebird guy.
it fits with this. It sounds like something that would go with my Hawaiian shirts and like love of ska music.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we got. All right, so at that point we have Xbox, Model S, and Duke, Dreamcast,
Uh huh.
and DualShock 2. Um, so
Fucking
so
new ones a batarang.
um so do we want to have the Duke conversation now?
We can have the Duke conversation now.
Thing is awful.
Whatever.
Thing
That
is
controller's fine.
that doesn't sit in your hand. It fills your hand and the person next to you.
Absolutely. It felt great in my hands at 12 years old.
It's fucking.
I
I'm
haven't touched it in a while.
playing that thing as a 12-year-old, and I'm like, fucking, just like, ah, it feels so fucking awkward. This is
The weirdest thing about the Xbox in general was the white and black buttons.
That was
The
weird
place.
that they just didn't do shoulder buttons, but you wanna know something I loved about that fucking console, especially living in a house where my Xbox was primarily in the living room?
Yeah.
The breakaway cables. The fact that they were
Sure.
the first
Yes.
console to do fucking breakaway cables.
Yep.
Like holy
I
shit.
thought that through.
Like
I love the big fucking Xbox logo just in the middle. The controller is basically created to service this
This
advertisement in the middle. Hey, you're
fucking-
playing an Xbox.
Like I look at the original Xbox controller and I'm like, the right analog stick doesn't have a big enough indent to rest. It doesn't have a
Sure.
real D-pad. It fucking has the
Sure.
white and black buttons at the top, so they're harder to hit. This thing is
For some reason, I
ass.
preferred the white and black on the top rather than the bottom
This
because I
thing is,
got used to the Duke version.
and then I pull up the Model S, and I'm like, oh, that's a perfectly serviceable controller. They put a like real D-pad in it, which is
Let me look at this. Hang on. Do we have the logo in the middle?
it
We have
does have
okay.
the
We have a little bit of
logo.
logo in the middle.
They snuck that
And
shit in still, yeah.
I remember it was tiny. It was too tiny for me. Having the select and start on the left side was probably actually a good idea. It balances it with the white and black buttons, but and I'm willing to put that in over the Duke. But
I don't think
man, I
either
love that
should be in. I think both of these are shit.
Really?
I like, especially with the 360 right around the corner, which is like perfect.
I mean, yeah, no, totally. Like the Xbox 360 controller is gonna knock both of these out of the water. But
like, yeah, like it's like we're getting to the next generation where I think all fucking three of those should be on it.
I mean, once you get to that point, God, I love that Duke though. Oh, I love the audacity of it.
I love.
I mean, compared, obviously, like it's not as crazy as when we were being experimental, but this was the generation they started figuring it out, and then Duke just like whatever.
Well, the reason
Yeah,
Duke
so.
existed, just in case you forgot what you're playing on, yeah, big fucking logo. I think my like
Yep.
the Duke, the way the Duke was designed is like they took like a bunch of dudes took like a dinner plate like and like put their hand around it and then like slowly like invented a controller, but it was all dudes from the Microsoft office, so it was like all grown ass men who thought, oh, this is perfectly normal sized, and like anyone else or like anyone who's just used to normal game controllers, it's like, what the fuck is this? And you know what, Aaron? If you love the Duke so much, I'd like to inform you, my good sir, is you can buy them still.
I want to. I don't have an Xbox right now. Once I get an Xbox,
No,
I
they have
intend to get
USB
one of the newer
ones for.
Dukes.
They got USB ones for your PC, homie.
Oh fuck, that's right. Shit, I should absolutely do that.
They don't have the black
And then
ones.
realize that I hate them now.
The black ones are out of stock, but they got the green translucent ones already.
Hell yeah, sure. I would love the black one, but give me that atomic green.
I'm gonna link it in the Twitch chat.
Thank
Everyone, go buy a Duke. There you go. There you go.
The honorary victory for the Duke controller in this conversation
is that I just promoted that everyone. I convinced everyone who watched this on Twitch to go buy a Duke.
Oh my god!
For their this thing will work on Xbox One, Xbox Series, or fucking your PC. So
yeah,
God, and $70.
Jesus
You're paying $70 to be uncomfortable. Good job, everyone.
I love it. I love it.
Oh
God, look at it. What a
chest.
It's not even quite like it. Like the way they do the logo in the middle is like a little weird, but hey, they got the general feel. Best gaming controller of Windows Central Game Awards. Okay, it won the best gaming controller at a Windows thing.
That seems a little biased, but okay.
Yeah, like what? We thought that was a good idea.
All right, so we're putting GameCube on here. Or GameCube Wavebird specifically. All right, so we got
specifically Wavebird.
So we got 360. PS3 has 2 controllers, remember, and then Wiimote and Nunchuck.
PlayStation 3 has 2 controllers.
Remember, it has the one with rumble and the one without.
Well, it's got to be the one with rumble.
So we got DualShock 3. And then we got
Hyperscan 2006. Why is it okay? I guess technically.
And then we got 360. And then, all right, I think Wii and Nunchuck should be on there. Wiimote and Nunchuck. I think that was a cool as fuck idea. Best controller as voted by Microsoft employees with big ass hands. Fucking you just go to Microsoft, the studio that works on the controllers. It's all dudes are like 6'4", look like they should be playing for
Right.
the Lakers.
Yeah. As someone who's everyone's friends have been getting VR headsets and controllers, and there's been conversation around VR stuff, and I've been thinking about it. Like, yeah, these controllers are important. They were not used as well as they could have been.
No, I think that, like, but man, the games that use them well are like magic. They're like fucking witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time I played No More Heroes, it was like, finish him, and I'm like, wah! I'm like, that's so fucking
No More
cool.
Heroes was a good, yeah. Red Steel was a little underwhelming at first. I hear Red Steel 2 got it.
They got it right, yeah.
Got it right. There were a couple others, but they struggled with having to find a way to use a right analog stick somehow, or like to simulate one. Mario Galaxy had some interesting stuff with that. Skyward Sword tried, and there were some interesting ideas, but
I thought the fighting was great.
That's
Everything
the thing about these controllers. Yeah, I'm okay with putting it on, but yeah, I think that's something that we need to go into a little more deeper discussion when we start cutting things.
Fair. And I think that the 360 controller is, like, out of this list, like, in hindsight, probably the best modern controller out of that bunch. As much as I like,
out of this generation for sure.
Yeah, like when we start talking Xbox One, PS4, PS5, etc., that's when we're gonna have to start.
You could make the argument that the original Xbox's controllers started this wave, but like this generation was the generation where it was like either you go with the rest in your fingers PS3 controller, or you do the fill your palms Xbox controller. And ever since, PlayStation has given up and said, all right, Xbox wins on this front.
I only recently stopped using a 360 controller for PC game. Well, that's because also the big bonus to the 360 controller is they made it so here, just plug it into your PC and it'll work on everything. Because we're Microsoft.
Okay.
And that's a big, like, this is an Xbox One controller, but like still, like, this is not too far off from what the 360 was. Like, the triggers are different. The sticks have more texture.
The 360 was it.
But, like, everything else about this was, like, they kind of beefed it up and tweaked a couple of things and then sent it on its way. And then, also the 360 was the first one to do that guide thing. Where you, like, press a button and you're like, boo!
Right.
Guide button comes up.
Yep. One thing that was, because again, we were just talking about this before the show, was console designs and how Xbox has not really quite, like, ever since the 360 especially, has been like, just make it a big black block and then make sure it doesn't overheat, because we're just not willing to risk it in terms of design. But they recognize that with the 360, they nailed it. And they've been mild improvements, but the base design has always been there since the 360.
Like, I'm gonna be real with you. The Xbox Series X controller is my favorite modern controller. This. Okay. They finally they got it perfect. They added. Can
you hold it up to the camera real quick? Yeah, look at that. Look at that, and then look at the 360. Like, obviously, yes, there are some great improvements, and we're gonna get to those. But, like, that's the 360 controller at like first glance.
Like, the D-pad feels great. They added textured grip to the back and the triggers. The triggers are better. These aren't mushy like they are on the 360 or Xbox One.
Right, 360 controllers, triggers, and D-pad were not amazing.
Bumpers and D-pad. Their triggers were fine. Like, they were what they were. And then, like,
they were what they were at the time.
And these buttons always have felt good, ever since the original Xbox. So, yeah, good on them. I love this thing. D-pad's great. Highly supported.
Yeah, they've never really changed those buttons. Like, they make them round, but then, like, but otherwise that button design has always been the same.
All right,
and they did good.
Xbox One doesn't change enough for me to want to put it on there, especially with what I know is around the corner.
Yep.
PS4, I think, should totally be on there.
Absolutely.
up
Yes.
into up until like other than the fact that its battery life is shit. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was my perfect controller until the Series X. So
I think that was a lot of people's preferred controller.
so do we want to put the Wii U gamepad on here or Wii Pro?
I'm gonna say something here. Okay, Wii U controller had a lot of potential, and then like a lot of Nintendo ideas, it was down to Nintendo to make good on it, and even Nintendo did not necessarily go hard on those ideas, such as a Pokemon Snap game. Let me tell you though, this controller was fantastic for uh, Mario Kart, being able to look down at the map at all times. Not a huge thing again, but like Splatoon was huge for being able to tap where to quick spawn on a map after you had been defeated. You know, you just
I
jumped
liked
right into
it.
the
I
action.
liked it in Wind Waker for the inventory stuff.
Yep,
I'm willing to put a Wii U gamepad on here.
sure. Yeah,
So yeah, and I think we should skip Xbox One since it's the half step to get to this guy.
yes, it
Um,
is.
and then all right, and then we have Switch Joy Cons, which you know. Oh
It
God,
is like Switch. There's something about it that I do like, but
I
I
love
just
the
don't think it
Switch
holds
Pro
up to these other
controller.
guys. The Switch Pro controller is great.
I think that should be on the list. I think Switch Pro controller and also the Switch Pro controller, period, for battery life. Holy shit! I feel like I never
Sure.
charged that thing ever.
I also want to talk about also like the handles for the Nintendo Switch controllers. I think feels pretty damn good.
They
Um,
put that rubber grip on them. Hold on, I have one. I have one down here. Hold on.
Also, one of my favorite controllers that I submit. Let me look at yours real quick here.
Hold
I want to
on.
see this. Hmm. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful.
The only thing I really don't like about the Switch Pro controller is they don't put grip on, and this is a feature that's only from the PS5 and Xbox One uh, and Xbox Series X, so it's not that like old. But they don't
Yeah.
put grip on the controllers. The D pad is hypersensitive on this thing to the point of where Stephanie can't play Tetris with it. She says it's
Wow.
way too sensitive.
That's
Um,
not good.
I actually couldn't play Celeste with it. I was like, fuck this.
That
Um,
sucks.
and then
I would like to submit, actually, because we already moved past the Wii U, but the Wii U Pro controller. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. I'm showing it on the YouTube side right now. It is, I think it's elegant. It felt really good in your hands, and primarily it put forward the idea of having the analog sticks on top and your D-pad and face buttons at the bottom, and I loved it. It was great. That D-pad is, very simple. It's not 8-way, so.
I will put that on there with the
But
Switch Pro one, but I think they both probably get cut because they fuck up in one way or another.
yeah, exactly. Right.
Also, I don't find I think the fact that the triggers on them are not analog triggers and they're just A B sucks.
Yes.
That's
Sure.
that's another beef I have with those. Um,
That's fair.
so yeah, the Batarang.
Okay.
But yeah, so and then
Nintendo Switch controllers have been really cool for games like ARMS and for Ring Fit Adventure, using motion to do crazy weird shit. But again, that's another thing where it's coming down to Nintendo to try and innovate and do weird things, and not enough people are really taking advantage. So
so I think Xbox Series X, that's one for sure. And then I
all right.
think so PS5. I don't know how to feel about it because it's very much like so far only Sony has been the one doing the cool shit with it, right? Like,
Sure.
like, because like Miles Morales, super cool when it's like does the like where like it gets the more you swing, the harder it gets to press, or like
Yes.
not the more you swing, but the faster you're swinging, it's a little harder of a press down, or like in Astrobot, like the spring stuff.
Yeah.
But then you play Call of Duty, it's just trash.
Really?
Call of Duty does use the adaptive trigger, and it's trash. It makes it feel
Well,
cheap.
how so? I know we talked about it this once.
Like it just makes
Feels
it like
cheap?
yeah, it feels cheap and like makes it feel like impossible to aim at all, and like it just doesn't feel good. Like it just like in Astronaut's like okay, this is the tension of how a spring works. But like in Call of Duty,
Yeah.
it's just like oh no, we'll have it shake a whole bunch. Yeah, we'll have it shake and be
See, hopefully more devs take advantage of it and do it well. But I think it's early on in this generation, but this
Mhm.
could absolutely be a case where devs fuck it up.
Yeah, and
Um,
like the thing is like the question the question I have with it, of course, is, you know, are devs really going to take the time to do this when they're working on this guy who doesn't have it, and this
yeah.
guy who doesn't have it, and
hmm
then you know the PS4 and original Xbox One which also don't have it. So it's just
I mean,
like,
do you think Xbox eventually comes out with one that does it?
that's the rumor right now. That was actually a news story that was floating around this past week.
Because it seems like such a cool idea. That's something that I would want to have, and obviously, I'd want the ability to turn it off if I'm just not in the mood. But
Um,
it's something I would like to have.
Like after like 2 levels over the Call of Duty, I'm like, I never want to turn this on ever again. Like ever. I
Uh,
haven't got to play Demon Souls yet, so I don't know how that supports it yet.
okay,
Apparently, the way Horizon is going to support it is like bow feedback.
that'd be cool.
Which like okay, cool.
Yeah,
Um, you know, so that'll be neat, I guess. Apparently, Devil May Cry 5 supports it too, which I'll need to go look that up.
you'll have to look that up. That sounds
Um,
interesting.
but yeah, like and a lot of times it's just fucking garbage. It's just
That's a shame.
garbage.
So
Um,
unfortunately, we may have to rate that based on its potential, or we may have to just leave that feature out because
like,
it's too early.
yeah, like I mean, I think it's too early. Otherwise, I think that the triggers feel pretty good. L and R feel great. It's probably the best L1 R1 or bumpers I've felt in a while. The buttons feel good.
Wow.
Sticks are fine. I don't like that they don't have as much grip as the Xbox ones do. Here are my big complaints about this guy. One is I feel it's a little
Okay.
too big.
Oh,
PS4 the two like things that were like down here, but this just like kind of makes it
yeah.
all one mold, but like in a way that's more awkward than this. And then
Huh.
my other complaint is why the fuck did they make it white? Like
Look.
look,
Yeah.
man. I have owned this thing for 2 months, and I've already had to clean it twice. You know,
Yep.
it's well on its way again. You know.
Yep. Um, I believe we have a news story that we'll probably cover next Super Gamecast too about there was a potential black PS5.
Yeah, that was a special edition PS2 one
Man,
that a company was
man.
making, and shit went south real fast. So
Okay.
I'd say put it on to get cut later. Probably. I think it's a good
Sure.
controller.
Yeah, throw it on there. I mean, obviously, the more modern controllers are going to be on this list
Hmm.
for pretty obvious reasons. But
Yeah, no,
yeah.
for sure.
All right, let's go ahead and throw it on.
All right, so that's all of them, unless we want to put keyboard and mouse.
Did you already add the Series X controller?
Yes. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to cut down to 10 and then order.
Okay. Do you have this up somewhere where I can look at it?
Hold on.
Or no?
Oh, wait. I forgot to put the Duke on. Sorry, 16. My
Okay.
bad. All right. I can post it in the chat on Twitch.
All right.
Keyboard and mouse is king. Keyboard and mouse is not on here because it's not a console thing, but if we were to include it, it would probably still lose because there are a lot of games I don't want to play with a fucking keyboard and mouse.
Sure.
Anything that's a platformer for one.
Yeah. Right. Right. It's. Okay, so I'm looking at this list right now.
Sekiro with keyboard and mouse. Let's go. Fuck that.
Jesus. This is not what I want. I'm just trying to come up with a blank page so I can type this down over on my side. All right, so what do you think are locks?
Locks. I think 360. I think SNES. I think I think you could argue Wavebird.
You could argue, or is it a lock?
Yeah, okay. Series X, and then
okay.
like PS4. Actually, no, not PS4. Its battery life is too shit. Like the rest of these, I kind of like, and Genesis Model 2. Genesis Model 2 also. Thing is a
Genesis
fucking
Model
thing of beauty.
2. That's fair. That's fair.
What about you?
Okay. So I'm writing them down right now. So could you go over the locks again real quick?
Series X, 360, SNES, Genesis Model 2.
Anything about PS4? Yes, no? Or is that arguable?
I think that's arguable. I think its battery life is shit. I think that not touchpad, but fucking light bar is stupid. And it's part of the reason why the battery drains.
I like the light bar, but that's just me.
That's part of the reason its battery is shit.
Yeah, that's fair. But you could play that wired, right?
Yeah, you could if you like wanted to buy a long enough micro USB. So
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Which I mean, to be fair,
lock in.
I sit about 4 feet away from my TV, so a lot of the time I am wired.
Sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm glad we have the wireless option to get away from wires, but also sometimes, man.
It was nice. The wireless option is great when, let's say, you have to prop your feet up for like 5 hours a day, and hey, guess what? It's
Shit
there
happens
for you. It's really which.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of the locks here, I think SNES is not a bad one at all.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Genesis second revision. Wavebird, you said.
I think you put Wavebird. I think we'd still argue it if you really want to.
I think we could argue it, but I'm gonna leave it there for right now.
All right, I'll put that next to it then.
And then you said 360 and Series X.
Yep.
So we talked about this. Let's just go over it real quick one more time. Difference between 360 and Series X.
That's true. You can drop 360.
Drop 360? Okay.
Yeah, the Series X, it's too good, bro. This thing is too good. I want to fucking play more games on my Xbox because it's so good.
I mean, you can link it up with your PC, right?
That too. And it's USB-C. Fuck, this thing's awesome.
Okay.
Fucking great controller. Could turn my Xbox now. Fuck.
So, let's see here. Atari,
still uses AA. I don't consider that a negative, and here's why. So my PS3 is about 10 years old now. And I still play it sometimes. It's out in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like the battery life that's like an hour at most.
Mm-hmm.
And that means if I want to put new AA or new batteries in it, I have to go find what kind of battery it uses, which, some internet research, and then take it apart with a fucking screwdriver, rip the battery out, put the battery back in, and then screw it back together. Yeah. So, yeah. Like, I don't consider that as much as it. Like, everyone fucking goes apeshit over that. And it's like, bro, at this point, like, is it really that hard to go out and get some rechargeable AA's?
Like it sucks. It's obviously not the ideal, but it's also, I don't know. I'm not going to count that against it unless we really need to start nitpicking between these.
Okay, fair, fair.
You
Um,
know, like right now, I'm fine with it.
okay, so
So
uh,
okay, I want to talk about the Atari
I think it can
one for
go.
a second.
It can go.
It, it was fun to talk about. It was good
It's
for the
iconic.
time.
It's an
Yep.
iconic thing, but it's not. It's not
It, do-
what you.
it obviously does not compare. I'm not going to play Halo with the Atari.
How
I mean,
would
technically
you?
you could. If you ever went to the museum, that game did a tour. Someone made like an Atari 800 or something version of Halo.
Okay, so we're dropping. We're dropping Atari. Um, so we
Hmm.
gotta drop 5 more.
Is it five?
Yeah,
One, two,
because it was 16
three,
total.
four, five,
So
six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we gotta drop five more. All right.
all right, 5 more it is. So yeah, like I'm looking at this list from here, and I'm like, I think the Duke can go.
Yeah.
I think the Duke and both the Pro controllers can go.
Really, the Pro controllers.
Yeah, I think both of those
Yeah.
are. I love the battery life on them, but they're significantly worse than what is happening over on PS4, DualShock 3, 360. Uh,
When you put it that way, it reminds me that like those Pro controllers are partially considered great because they are replacing what the main
they
controllers
are
actually are.
replacing bad controllers to begin with. Um,
So,
so
does this mean Wii U has to go?
we can discuss it. That one's up for discussion because like when it does the cool thing, it is really cool, but it doesn't do the
I'm
cool thing
telling
that
you, man.
often.
That's a thing. I know HR Ninja. You were saying something about the using it for inventory. It can be used for more than that. They just don't do it very often. Again,
Like,
it's fantastic
like
for Splatoon.
the Miiverse stuff was great. Like that was all really cool.
It was
Um,
fantastic for Mario Maker.
yeah, Mario
Oh
Maker
my
was
god.
dope. I think that. See, now you're selling me. That's how you sell me. Is you bring up Mario Maker.
See, and the problem with the Switch version, they came out with Mario Maker 2 on the Switch. You couldn't do some of the stylus stuff because you didn't come with a stylus. You couldn't do stylus stuff like with your finger for Mario Maker
Yeah,
2, which
you had to play it in portable mode to do that. I believe. From what I
did you have to do it
remember.
in portable mode? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a problem. Yeah,
Game still
Splatoon, Mario Maker, Monster Hunter,
played and
Zombie
ran
U.
well, but
Yeah.
um,
But it came down to not enough people used it. And that thing is the thing about that is like I'm willing to cut it for that reason, but I need to look at some of these other controllers
okay.
first.
So let's hold off. Okay, I think Duke and the pros can go. Like that. That's my thing with that
Yeah,
though.
no, those are gone. Those are gone.
Okay,
One,
so
two,
that means we
4,
have 2
5,
more to kill.
11. Okay, Saturn Model 2. Let me look at this again. I gotta scroll all the way back up. That's right. So this is Model 1 over here, and then you scroll down. No.
The two that
What do you think of Saturn Model 2? Or what are the two you're looking at?
I'm kind of looking at 360 and PS3, just because they're the like kind of worse versions of what's later on the list. But then I'm also like looking at PS5 as well, and I'm going like, I think you can go PS5 and then like PS5 and PS3.
Um hmm.
Because like of the
Well,
three
here.
PlayStations on here, the PS4 is the best one. With the like the only problem I can really bitch about is battery life is shit.
Right.
But like the PS3's triggers are shit, and then
Yeah, I'm willing to get rid of DualShock 3 for
okay, so yeah, that's unanimous,
yeah.
and then like PS5, like
But okay.
so
I'm just looking at Saturn Model 2 here. Like
Okay.
What do you What do you think? Especially compared to SNES and Genesis Second Revision.
Okay, hold on. Let me get a look at it. Let me get a good look at it again too.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Yeah.
time since I've held one of those.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's weird cutting some of these controllers when looking at the top of my list here is SNES, Genesis Second Revision, and Saturn Model 2.
Hmm.
And Saturn Model 2, I haven't held in my hands.
And then I need to look at Genesis Model 2 as well.
And you're looking at those, but we also have the N64 controller on here, which is something.
I'm gonna say out of all of these, I think you can coin flip between Saturn and Genesis, or or you can fucking go PS5. That would be my
Okay.
go-to.
So why PS4 over PS5 again?
I think
Just
it's more comfortable to hold. I think
PS4.
that yeah, PS4. I think PS4 is more comfortable to hold, and then everything else about those controllers are the fucking same. Oh wait, no, PS5 also has
Gotcha.
better battery life, but like,
Wow.
or it's like PS5. Oh, sorry, PS5 has better battery life. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. Like my problems with this thing compared to the four are, and I don't have a four because I sold all that shit because it runs on five. Here are my
Yeah.
problems. I don't think it's as comfortable to hold, especially because you can't just let it rest. You really do have to grip this one. And then like the fact that it's white again kind of is just like fuck. I hate that.
I mean,
Just
I imagine they're gonna fix that later.
I would hope. And
But
I know you can say the same thing about the fucking Wiimote and 360.
this
Um,
seems like a topic we're gonna have to revisit in a few years.
um, I do like the fact that
For
it's
years
USB.
down the line.
I do like the fact that it's USB C instead of micro USB. That's a big plus for
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Um, Obviously with
The fact that you said the DS4 feels better to hold than the PS5 is makes me think PS4 deserves to be on here and PS5 not.
I could go with that. I could go with that.
Okay.
Also, like the true test of all any controller is fighting games, and that Saturn controller is bitching for fighting games.
That's fair. As someone who does not play fighting games at all, I've never really cared about my D-pad in general. But I'll just have to defer to you on that.
All right, so we got 10 controllers. These are the 10 that we're gonna order now, ladies and gents. We
Hang on a
got.
second. What was the other one that you cut?
I thought we cut. Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I have 11 on my side.
What do you have?
SNES, Genesis Second Revision, Saturn Model 2, N64, Wavebird, DualShock 3, 360,
Oh, we agreed to cut the
Wiimote.
DualShock 3. Remember?
We what?
I thought we agreed to cut DualShock 3.
Oh, we cut DualShock 3?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought we.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So. All right. So.
DualShock 3 was like the definitive version of that smaller PlayStation controller, which I did enjoy, but I think the gaming community has moved on,
I think
and
the gaming
it's a
community,
sad day.
even during the 360 era, you and I were the people sitting there being like, "We swear it's good."
It's good. You're just holding it wrong. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is designed for kids to hold. It's so small." It's like you're fucking holding it wrong.
All right.
Of course, it's gonna seem small. Anyway, so we are at 10 now, right?
We are 10. Yes.
All right. I am going to I'm gonna grab my second beer, and we will start ordering these. What do you think? What do you think, guys?
What do you think? Everybody in the chat, how do you feel so far? How you feeling? Are we feeling good? Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? My stomach is apparently not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I ate burritos for dinner. All right. I see you got the upholstered chair, not the leather. You were not a leather
Yeah,
guy.
I was really torn. I could have gone either way with
Mm.
upholstery or leather. But yeah,
Um,
Emily, this is for you. I'm drinking one of these. All right. So,
I need to make more Gatorade. Anyway,
do you drink more Gatorade? What kind of flavor of Gatorade do you drink?
red or white.
Okay. Yeah, I was always yellow or white.
Yellow's good.
I love yellow.
Is that a Fremont?
It is a Fremont. Ma'am,
Freeze?
I had a Deschutes, and then this is a Fremont Fresh Hops.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So,
Um,
looking at this list here, I'm thinking like I honestly think older controllers are probably going to be towards the back.
yeah, I think N64 is probably a 10. We've carried that torch as far as it can go.
I want to talk about N64. That thing is weird.
That thing is weird as fuck. I will agree with you.
But like, it has everything that modern controllers ended up having long before, and just in a weird alien way. It even had a rumble pack.
Yeah, you get a rumble pack for
You know?
it. You plugged memory cards into it. That was a weird thing.
You plug memory cards into it. That was weird.
Indeed, it was.
But it was just, yeah, that thing was messed up. But I loved it. And hated it. It depended. It depended. You know?
I knew no better at the time. And
maybe I'll say the same thing about Duke. I'll be $70 lighter. I'm like, I thought I knew better. I don't know. So okay, all right.
Yeah, and I think.
Do you think the Nintendo 64 goes below some of these older ones?
I think that it is not as comfortable to hold as some of those older ones, and
Yeah, you're correct.
and I think that's part of this list. I think that what it does for influence is important. I think that analog stick is fucking important. I think that
Yep.
Z trigger is important. I think that it allowed games to do a lot of shit they weren't doing before, but I think that it's uncomfortable and weird, and that's where it should probably stay.
Yeah. I think a lot of games that I played on the N64, I defaulted to the analog stick, and having my one hand in the center and one to the right with some of the controller hanging to the left was always awkward feeling.
That was most games though. Like that was like
right. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like and
that was
like,
GoldenEye. That was Mario Party for me. That was
they didn't.
Yeah, any shooter.
Well, yeah, because you had to use the C buttons to fucking
the C buttons because they could not conceive of a second analog stick.
Look, man, like you look at the way Mario 64 is designed, and like the first entire like 3 hours of that game are just like trying to get you used to the idea of what the fuck 3D is.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. You're right. God, what a crazy time. Just that all happening.
Right, and like to be fair, like we were not cognizant of a lot of it. Like I played Mortal Kombat and Pac-Man at an arcade as a relatively young boy, and then got an N64 for Christmas and was like, cool, I'll play this Mario thing. Oh, it's 3D. And then I wouldn't, and like I'd end up beating it, but I played way more Killer Instinct with my dad.
Sure.
So,
yeah, I played a lot of Pod Racer.
Yeah, I played a lot of Diddy Kong Racing, a lot of Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Bunch of Pokemon Puzzle League.
Cruis'n USA.
Yeah, that's another one. Cruis'n USA.
That's a good one. Yeah. So, yeah.
Pokemon
Do you think
Snap?
10?
Yeah, 10's the right spot.
I think 10. Yeah, you're right. The other ones make sense. You look at the N64, and their questions appear in your head.
Right. There's a lot of shit you can say about that console. That's just like, and that controller on that console. Just like how I think the one below this is like. I think you have to put SNES, Genesis, Saturn all in a fucking row because they're so similar.
Fair. Let me submit a controller to go either below or above those three.
Okay.
The Wiimote and Nunchuck.
Hmm. I'd put that above the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad. I think there are more examples of the Wiimote and Nunchuck being useful than there are the gamepad.
I think especially as we go into the future, as VR starts to catch on more and more, specifically because it gets more affordable and all that. Absolutely.
The fact that I'm like looking over the break before I invested in a fucking Xbox, I was like on the Oculus website going like, oh, $400. That's
Yeah.
actually not bad.
I have friends who I found out in the last 3 weeks have gotten Oculus, the PSVR, and the Index. And
After
it got me thinking.
after watching Bunny Hop's thing about Half-Life Alyx and the Index, I kind of cooled my want for it.
Sure.
It kind of like, especially with the Rift being $300 now.
Yep.
Like the fact that the Rift is $300 now, that's like, dude, I can pick that up when almost ever I wanted. Versus like an Index, I'm sitting here going like, that's a lot of money.
Man, what would be really cool is if I could try it at a booth and see how it feels. Because one of the big things for me is just the weight of the headset is not there yet.
And then like HTC has their new headset that apparently does everything the Vive does, but is cheaper. Or not the Vive,
right.
the Index. Sorry.
It does everything the Index does.
Yeah, it does everything the Index does, except it's like $700.
Well, I mean, with like base stations.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Does it do the finger tracking?
I believe so. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But even then, like I posted Bunny Hop's video in our fucking in our little group chat
Discord
thing we have. Yeah, like so.
Oh, our group chat. Yeah.
So you know.
HR Ninja says I have PSVR and OG Vive. If not, you can buy the controllers separately. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it, and so like the Wii Nunchuck and Wiimote like did not use motion controls in the way that VR does right now.
Mostly no.
But I do admit that it is what popularized it and got people thinking about it.
It was like the first steps there, and like in some ways it had some of that stuff. Like and like the first moments you had with that were all really fucking cool. Like the moments when that shit worked, like Punch Out or Wii Sports or like Skyward Sword, were all like, fuck yeah, bro. It's just like there just wasn't a whole ton of them, but there were more of them than there were moments with the gamepad like that. Yeah.
Sure. I just think like it was just if I had to pick between using a Wiimote and Nunchuck over some of these more retro controllers, I would probably lean towards the retro controllers just because I feel like the Wiimote and Nunchuck are awkward despite what they have done for motion controls now.
The thing is, like, I had no problem using the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and like it also has versatility because if you want to know a dark secret, hey man, for a lot of those SNES and NES games, just flip that motherfucking Wiimote on its side.
Absolutely. Also, but that also was not great either as a controller on its own. Like, obviously you could do it,
right?
But
I don't know. Like, I think those two are very hand in hand. The Wii family.
I mean, yeah, if you wanted to put those two and then put the classic controllers,
sure. I go, gamepad, nunchuck, gamepad, Wiimote, and then let's order the classics.
Do you want to do so 10 is N64, 9 is Wii U,
and then
8 is Wiimote Nunchuck.
8 is Wii, yeah.
Okay. And now, all right. And then classic controllers.
I think.
How do we order this?
I think the SNES is probably the worst of that bunch, but that's just me. But I mean, if you want to put the other
Um,
ones ahead of it or below it, that's fine. I'm not that committed to this race on these ones anyway.
you're concerned about what's going on in the future.
Yeah, like
Um,
that and the one we just discussed.
so I guess my question is, I need to look at it again because I was in a Nintendo household.
Hmm.
Um, so there weren't any like shoulder buttons on the Genesis, were there?
No, there are. There's shoulders on the
There are.
Genesis Model 2.
Let me take a look here. Because yeah, all I knew was the Super Nintendo controller. That to me was video games to me
I
for a
mean, yeah,
while.
they ripped it off whole hog, and put a better D-pad on it. They said, "How can we make this a little more comfortable?" And put a bit. Um,
Let me look for a better picture because that did not show any shoulder buttons.
they are
All I'm
very.
seeing is the 6 button.
You gotta look close. Like if you zoom in on the Amazon one, they have it. Um,
On the Amazon one. Okay.
or the one on
Um,
Amazon.
Amazon.
Or did oh wait, or do they only have one trigger? Am I thinking of no? Wait,
One trigger.
no, I'm dumb. I'm thinking of the Saturn. I'm thinking of the Saturn. No, I'm
Oh,
dumb.
okay.
No, it doesn't have triggers. I'm thinking of the Saturn. I'm dumb. Okay, nope.
So there is no shoulder.
No, it's just 6 buttons.
So what I'm hearing is Sega Saturn had shoulder buttons and 6 face buttons.
That it did.
How was that D-pad?
Pretty good fighting games. That's what I gave shit
I
about.
hear that's the standard for D-pads.
That is what you care about. Look, man, you can play
Um,
Marvel vs. Capcom 1 as long as you buy that RAM adapter and import that shit from Japan. Oh, Lord.
what I'm hearing here is we should put Saturn at the top of this
Genesis,
of
SNES,
these
Saturn.
three. But then the question becomes: do you like your shoulder buttons or do you want your 6 face buttons?
I, I think Genesis is the worst of these children. Um,
You think?
yeah, and I think Saturn is Saturn. You get both. You get shoulder buttons and the 6 face buttons. You get
I think Saturn wins of the three, and then I'm just looking at Nintendo or SNES. You had like the traditional kind of
no,
analog or not analog
Emily. I was
D-pad.
being dumb. I was confusing it with the Saturn. Um, I very much was confusing it with the Saturn.
Okay,
Uh, yeah, no. Yeah, I would say that SNES is above Genesis. The only exception is once again fighting games because that 6 button layout is easier for that genre. But even then, it's not the end of the
right.
world.
But for games in general, you might want to go SNES because
Yeah,
you
you
might like
might
the
prefer
triggers
those
more.
Yeah, you might like the triggers more. I would say Genesis, SNES, Saturn Model
Okay.
2
Okay.
to be specific.
Yes. Yes.
All right, we got the classic children. Boom.
I love Saturn Model 2. Broke our top 5.
Yep. Um,
Amazing. All right.
it's a fucking good
Congratulations,
controller.
Sega Saturn.
Uh, alright, so
So now we're getting into it.
yeah, I think that
Check our YouTube and Twitch chat.
this is
Emily says, I was going to say, I don't recall the Genesis had shoulder buttons. Then again, I had one when I was like 5 years old and haven't seen one since.
like I said earlier, I got confused.
Okay. All right.
I got confused. I'm senile.
All good.
Um, so
Okay. So Wavebird.
yeah, out of these children, I feel Wavebird or PS4 is the next to go.
And
think
Wavebird still has that analog stick, right?
yeah, Wavebird has the analog stick problem. PS4 has the shit battery problem, and depending on your preference, the light bar problem. I'm willing to, but
Those honestly seem small to me compared to the right analog stick.
um, I don't know, man. I find like the analog stick didn't bother me enough. Didn't bother me on the GameCube that much, but that's because like I'm trying to think of GameCube games that fucking use it at all.
That's
Um,
fair.
and like that's like okay, it's really fucking like met like I'm trying to think of like running through the GameCube games. Use like Smash just uses it for Smash attacks.
Hmm.
Um, everyone else just uses it like for camera adjustment slightly.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the taunt stick, and I don't know what else you use it for.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Wavebird
So
just because I feel like it's the reason why Mario Sunshine's camera is shit. Because they didn't give full camera control until Galaxy.
fair
Um,
enough. You know what? I'll accept that answer.
all right, so we have 360, PS4, and Series X. Um,
So the hmm, hmm. So 360 was, I think we were talking about it earlier, had the squishy triggers
Squishy bumpers.
and
It's not so
oh,
much
bumper.
these guys. It's these fuckers that I always had problems with.
Right.
And then
They weren't great shoulder buttons.
its D-pad was ass. I will
That's
say
the
that.
thing. The D-pad,
Its
I remember, was
D-pad,
not good.
the fact that they midway through its life had to release a new version of it with a good D-pad was kind of says something.
Yeah.
So I think I'm willing to put 360 at 3, purely because like I fucking hate PS4 was a perfect controller at the time if it weren't for its battery. And it's like, but like, yes, there are enough complaints about that 360 controller. But I also look at the 360 controller and go, that's the fucking controller that every other controller has ripped off ever since.
That was the standard. Like that shifted how Sony made their controllers, and they had basically the same controller design for 3 years.
And then not only that, they also like it was the start of the
Or 3 years,
controllers.
3 generations.
It was the start of controllers just plugging into your fucking PC, right? Like that
Right.
it was the start of that, and it was the start of like having a headphone jack built into the controller for like voice chat. Like, because like for the original Xbox, you had to have a fucking adapter that came with your Xbox Live kit, versus this one has had just like a headset jack in.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Damn.
I will say we are just forgetting one, and also it had the guide button as well.
Right. The guide button. That was a big one.
That said, we are forgetting one key point on the PS4's favor, which is it was the first one to do the share button. The
It did have the share button.
So
I like its center touchpad.
I think the touchpad is fine. I just
know?
don't find much use for it. But
I enjoyed it for typing.
I didn't really use it for that. I didn't really use it. I can't think of games that are where it's all that particularly useful.
It was really good to like have like a cursor when you're using the keyboard to type in something. It was just faster for me, and I didn't have to. I'm always annoyed when I have to like type through this virtual keyboard and go right up, and then I went too far and I got to go back. And touchpad was perfect for that. In terms of gameplay stuff, it was not particularly.
I think I think you
but...
could coin toss these two. I think PS4 is better to hold and use though. So like if you want to go
really than the Series X.
No, than the 360. I'm sorry.
You're going between this and 360. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think PS4. I think PS4 definitely goes above 360.
So that means it's
Um,
PS4 versus Series X, and dude, I
I want you to make this case.
I want you to make. Okay, here's my cases on why this is better than the PS4.
Go do it.
Alright, one, they put better grip on the triggers, and they have better grip on the sticks, and the sticks feel better. Two,
Nice.
they added all the share button stuff and like social stuff that the other one has.
The PS4 has. Yep. All right.
Yeah. Three, because it's newer, you have USB-C.
Nice. Yep.
Big plus. Also, these feel great. These feel great. It's perfect sized. The only thing that people could say against it is the double A's thing, which I've explained my case. I don't think that's that big of a fucking deal. Yeah, so
what I'm hearing is it's a fight between low rechargeable battery life or using double A's.
Right, and I find that like double A's are way easier because I can also buy fucking rechargeable double A's. Versus like just having a shit battery life is a forever problem. That is a forever issue. And yeah, like I said, this thing, and then like the PS4 has a good D-pad. This thing has a fucking amazing D-pad.
Really?
Yeah. Like it just rocks so easily. Like pulling stuff off in Dragon Ball is like no problem with this. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about this fucking controller. And once again, the PS4, if you want to use it on your PC, you gotta put a little legwork in. This plugs right in, boom, understands it.
Sure.
That is my case.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think these are two controllers that are, in my mind, as someone who's not touched a Series X controller, but just from hearing your case, are in a dead heat. I am going to say that there is a plus that I find in that center button for use, and like just having an extra button to pull up a map as well as typing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I've heard about that Xbox controller, it seems like they really thought about just the basics of what a controller should feel like in 2020, 2021.
They thought of the last few possible complaints that you could have with this guy. Like, they thought about, okay, what are the remaining things you could bitch about in Xbox One with? Okay, the triggers don't have grip and are still a little mushy. Okay, it doesn't use USB-C. Oh, the back portion doesn't have grip. Okay, let's go in, let's fix all that. And they did, right. And then they added like an amazing fucking D-pad. So, like a just so good D-pad. Like, yeah,
which like the PS4 D-pad is,
it's good,
perfectly fine.
It's great. Like it's not, it's just like it's a standard what the PlayStation D-pad you've been using forever is.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I think these could be potentially considered a tie, like a couple other matchups in here, but I think Series X for our list. Exactly. No, we can't do that. That's not how this works. This is top 10. We're not tying nothing. One thing to every number. Right. So I think it goes PS4, Xbox Series X.
All right, book it. All right, so
boom.
Your top 10 controllers
from 10 to 1.
From 10 to 1, the Nintendo 64. The Wii U gamepad. The Wiimote and Nunchuck.
Mm-hmm.
The Sega Genesis Model DOS.
Mm-hmm.
The SNES Dogbone.
Yeah.
The Sega Saturn Model 2.
It's a good one.
The Wavebird. The GameCube Wavebird.
Proud to have that on this list.
Xbox 360.
Had to.
PS4.
Yep.
And Xbox Series X.
That's right.
Wow.
Hey, we got a new follower, Ultra Lunacy.
Hey, thank you for following. Thank you so much. We're going to be doing a lot more of streams that are just like this. It's going to be what? We're doing this every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, we are going to be making a new top list.
Yep.
Posting in the chat your lovely top 10 list. They'll also be going up in the Discord later today. If you ever missed this show, it'll be going up on YouTube, hopefully the following day, maybe a little later, depending on what's going on. But yes, so... All right, man, we got our first top 10 list done. I want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in and, follow us and give us support. Beautiful. You're all beautiful people. You are the best community on Twitch.
Absolutely.
You're the best community on Twitch
and
YouTube and soon to be Facebook.
Yeah, I'm actually streaming this on YouTube right now. We had a little bit of an audio hiccup there. I'm going to deal with that later, but now it's fixed. We know how to do that. So going forward, YouTube will also be an option for following. And yes, we are also looking into Facebook for streaming as well. So,
indeed. So yeah, man.
And then we're also going to be uploading this as audio podcast in case you ever miss a top 10-ish. You'll be able to see that. You'll be able to hear it as an audio podcast as well. So,
all right, and
keep an eye out for that.
And we are also on Spotify and iTunes for those of you who are curious about that. And
it's our Sunday podcast, Super Gamecast 2. We have a few episodes up for that already. So you want to go check those out. We're gonna be doing an audio podcast for this, and then tomorrow, Bronson.
Tomorrow
we are gonna be doing a new show.
We're doing a new show every week. Aaron and I will be picking a game on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for PC and for console. And we're going to be going in and reviewing those and telling you what we like, what we don't like, and if you should bother wasting your time on it. And we're going to do this. So for you PC and Xbox people, you're getting an extra treat every single week at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. So yeah.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, we have our normal news and review podcast where we dig into all the fun news in video games and entertainment for the week.
Exactly.
All right.
So it's going to be a good time.
So, I think that's it for the night. I think that we should go and raid... Oh, we got a person in the chat, ShyGirl_AVA1.
What's up, Shy Girl? What's going on?
What's up? We're about to wrap
Xbox 3 Series X wins our top 10 best controllers. We are going to probably revisit this sometime down the road.
Yes, who knows? They and to be fair, neither of us have tried those Xbox Elite controllers.
That's right, boys.
Oh,
that's true.
AVA1 is giving us a follow. Thank you very much, Shy Girl.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Shy Girl.
So,
damn.
Yes, so just a quick review of the schedule for the people who are new at the last second.
Yes.
Every Tuesday.
Anyone who's joined the podcast, yeah.
Loa,
go for
you can't say my name, Lamal. Ava? Oh, Ava1.
Ava1?
Yeah, Shy Girl Ava1. Okay, like Ava, like Evangelion. Shy Girl.
Sure.
Okay, so anyway, Tuesdays.
Yes.
Tuesdays, we do this show.
Yes.
Top 10-ish, where we do a
top 10-ish
of something in the video game industry: controllers, consoles, best shooter, best weapons,
characters, weapons, whatever.
Hot dudes, whatever. Yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah.
Top 10 hottest dudes in video gaming. 10 Zangief.
Dante,
10
number 1. Yeah, Zangief.
Get a bear wrestler to hold you at night. Anyway,
we'll have to get Avian in here. She'll put a bunch of King of Fighters characters in.
Right. And then Wednesdays, Game Pass, where we go and talk about cool new games on Game Pass, what you should be playing, what you shouldn't on that service. And then Sundays, we have our standard news podcast where we talk about all the rad news in video games. Shy Girl, thank you for following, by the way, and I'm sorry we butchered your name.
We have future streams to try and get it right.
Yes.
So.
And thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, we're gonna try and end on a raid here.
Send on a raid.
Let's who do we want to raid? So we got a couple options tonight. We got Jerica, and we got Sean Capri. I think we should harass Sean. We don't get to bug Sean too often. We get to bug Jerica.
We don't bug Sean too often. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go say hi to Sean.
Thank you to everyone for joining our show. We'll be back tomorrow live on stream, and we'll see you for the next episode of Top 10ish.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Oh wait, it has to count down 10 seconds. Shit.
Xbox Series X. Whatever. We have the perfect.
X gonna give it to you.
XSX gonna give it to you.
Okay. Hold on. Let me turn on.
Thank you guys.
I finally go along with the
what the crap,
raid.
Man.
Oh, look, we got another.
All right, guys. See you on YouTube.
More votes coming in.
Oh,
your vote matters more now than ever.
Don't let your vote get diluted by these raiders coming in. Super Gamecraft, thank you so much. Is that Bronson coming in with the raid? Oh, and thank you, Shy Girl.
I'm running fiber internet. Load this thing.
Bronson,
anyway, anyone who's still on our Twitch
over
channel
here,
for
you've
some
been
reason,
following
bye.
on Twitter. And for anybody who's joining in on the raid, my name is Sean.